Alright, so we're back with another podcast episode thing, whatever you want to call it, of Reflections from the Fifth Cellar. Unfortunately, La Phantom Romance, or Leffy, who is usually with me on this, has been very, very busy, so I hope she'll forgive me for doing this without her. But,
Yes, it's called moving to a different area.
And it's called school.
Yeah, we started school now, so as you guys probably know, I probably didn't need to mention that. Anyway, so joining me is RoseOfLuna and
G. Lloyd, 1990.
Thank you. And I'm just going to say, first of all, my dogs are probably going to be making noise in the background. I can't control it. I am really sorry, but...
They're only doing that because they're trying to mate with someone.
Ew. Anyway, okay. So, you probably expect us to talk about... the 25th anniversary performance since that just passed. It is the most recent Phantom thing. But no, we actually have a couple people who want to join us for that, and unfortunately they can't be here right this second. So
because they're sleeping.
Sleep is for dummies.
We're gonna wait on that. We're gonna make sure we have everyone involved because I know a lot of people really loved it. So, and we could do with as much input as possible. Today we're going to talk about Love Never Dies. Now this seems like something that shouldn't be continued to talk about considering that it kind of closed in England.
Yes,
even though
but still, the Australians...
Well, yeah, the Australian production is going, but you may know that I hate Love Never Dies with a passion. Dom, I believe you hate it too.
Yes, I generally hate it, but not as much as I used to.
I'm
Allie...
neutral.
Yeah, you're neutral. Now, you guys haven't heard my theory on this yet, but I think I've come to... I don't accept it, nor do I like it yet, but I'm more of understanding about it. I don't know whether this theory is true or not, but it's just a theory. It's something that I thought, well, it could be the product of this. Basically, what I think is Love Never Dies is the product of Andrew Lloyd Webber's midlife crisis. I mean, he's not exactly young anymore. He's in his 60s. So, and right before the opening of Love Never Dies, he did just have a cancer scare. So that could have put into perspective some things about his mortality. Besides that, I do think that, you know, he often looked at himself as the Phantom, and that Sarah Brightman, who was this beautiful woman, and just had this voice of an angel, was like his Christine. So I think in that way, you know, it could have some correlation to this, because I think that maybe he created Love Never Dies because I honestly think he regrets leaving Sarah. And this is sort of he put that emotion into something, and this is why he's making a continuation of it. Because he's trying to say, well, she's gone now, so, but I kind of want her back, so this is going to be like sort of my call to her, maybe even subconsciously. Perhaps that's a far-fetched theory, but I think that's what it could be. And, he let her go.
People say things like he was just doing this for money.
Well, I think part of it was money, and that's another thing. I think with the whole midlife crisis thing, he wanted one last big hurrah before he went out, because he realizes that at this point he could die, and that's a really, I hate to bring that up, even though I don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber that much, I really hate to bring something like this up about him. But maybe he's thinking, well, go ahead.
It's kind of like, this is really recent news, but it's kind of like Steve Jobs. As people may know, he just passed yesterday, and
yes, but by the time this
he
thing is
resigned from
uploaded, we
being the
don't know how long
CEO
it's
of
gonna get
Apple
for.
just a little bit before that. So it's almost like he knew, I'm gonna die soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, see, I see it more as a, Phantom was his most successful show. And people really love it and stuff, and in a way, he kind of saw it as a story about him. So he's like, well, I need one last big huzzah, something that people loved. Well, they liked Phantom, and I kind of want Sarah to know that I still like, and maybe that's where it came from. So in that sense, like I said, that may not be true at all. But it's just a theory of mine. And if that's true, then I still hate Love Never Dies as much as I did because it makes no sense. But I have more of an understanding. And my dislike for Andrew Lloyd Webber is less than it was if that's the case.
You know, the thing is, it probably would have been like a better story had it been like different characters, not Phantom related.
Something that yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Something that I said to Leffy before was that was something about how it wouldn't make any sense unless it was Phantom related. No, Leffy said it wouldn't make any sense unless it was Phantom related, but it doesn't make sense anyway, which is a hilarious comment. But and yeah, it kind of does, but I really think Love Never Dies could have been an amazing story if things about it were tweaked. If you changed the backstory a little bit, changed some of the lines in the story. I mean, you'll have to remove stuff like Twisted Every Way and all that, but and then change the characters. Maybe not make the main character mask, because that is too similar to Phantom. Maybe you could leave it in if you did the right things, but I really think it could have been amazing. And Andrew Lloyd Webber could have had this new musical triumph. But like I said, I think he was just building on the Phantom again because he's like, people like that.
It's his most successful show.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that's very, very good point.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, and then something just happened in the 25th anniversary. There are still people who haven't seen it yet and are waiting for the DVD, so I'm not going to say specifically what it is to avoid spoilers. But there was something that happened in the end that Andrew Lloyd Webber said that kind of helped with my theory that he still loves Sarah.
Oh, it's absolutely obvious.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I think it's really obvious, but, you know, some people may not agree with that, but I don't know. I just don't think Love Never Dies was the product of just greed. I think there's a lot of different emotions behind it.
Yeah, that is just, some people make fun of the fact that, well, they acknowledge that the original role of Christine was written for Sarah, and then Andrew Lloyd Webber goes and kills off her character in the sequel, and so they kind of make fun of that, thinking that maybe he's bitter about it, and maybe he is.
In some ways, he could be a little bitter about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you want to go really deep into it, maybe he is bitter about it, but with, you know, the Phantom being upset over it at the same time. I mean, he obviously loved her. I mean, that's why he's upset. But it's his way of saying, you know, I am bitter to this about this, and
it's kind of his way of release.
Would come back and bite you in the ass. But
you know, just
that.
writing that may have been his release.
This is true too.
Because that's how some people cope with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I almost feel like I don't want to go too far into it because, like you said with the curtains thing, the whole English teacher thing, the author meant that the curtains...
The curtains are blue.
And the English teacher thinks it symbolizes depression, where Angela Weber could just say, I just needed an ending. I just need someone to die. I don't want to read too much into it in case it's like that, but I can't help it. So.
Yep. Vega, you're an English major, right?
Yeah. I am an English major. I just realized that.
So that could probably be part of it.
You
said like nothing.
I just like listening to, thoughts really. Well, looking at the Wikipedia page for Love Never Dies, apparently he had plans for Love Never Dies in 1990. I think he was still married to Sarah Brightman then, wasn't he?
You never know. She could have been thinking of beating him.
Yeah, but he had plans for a sequel. He may not have had the storyline set up. I mean, obviously he had some things in the book, but there were things that were... And I don't remember when Phantom of Manhattan was published. I think it was somewhere...
90s. It's somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah.
I've got it down here as 1999.
Okay, when did they get divorced?
Just let me look that up, actually.
Because he was planning on making a sequel, and originally it might have been, maybe it was another continuation for Sarah if they were still in love at that point, or,
who knows, it could have been a completely different story.
It could have been.
Like, maybe he had the idea that Christine goes back to him, and then they happily ever after. He could have had that idea.
Yeah.
Which some people would have been mad about, and other people would have been happier.
Yeah.
Happier people. That's what fan fiction's for, people.